So, next one. Let's see if you can find it. There's stuff hidden here. One of the hardest things is finding the title of this slide. What is over there? It's camouflage. But also, hopefully you saw, there's a dragon here. This is the flying dragon, similar to the one that we saw flying. It's here, the head and the legs and the tail here. There's a moth here. And if you, perhaps you have seen, there's a chameleon here. There's a head with the eye, body, the tail, see? There's a chameleon. I mean, these are tremendously well hidden. And now this moth and the dragon, I want to call it a dragon, but this dragon, they are passive in their camouflage. They have these colors, and if they sit there and don't move, nobody sees them. And that obviously will help you. The chameleon is an active camouflager. He can change his color. It's even terrific. You can Google this. Go to YouTube, just Google or just type in camouflage chameleon colors, whatever. You'll find all kinds of video with a chameleon stepping over different colored blocks, and the color just goes into his body. It changes while you're looking at it. It's tremendous to see, and the chameleon just steps like, what is it? You can't do this? I mean, so that's great to see. The chameleon is very cool creature, but it changes its color while it's touching the surroundings. So, and of course, at first you didn't see this, right? I mean, you have to imagine you're in the jungle, you wouldn't notice this until it's too late. Same for the fly that just passes by, of course, eaten. But the best camouflage technicians basically are the squid and the octopus, so the cephalopods, as they say. And this is terrific. This is one. And now it pretends it is a rock. That's terrific, isn't it? And basically, if it was like this, you wouldn't have noticed. And there's this great guy over there. This has this calcium skeleton inside that some people use for their birds, right? It's in this the cuttlefish, it's called. And look, it changes the structure of its skin. See? It gets even better because it changes the color to the same color of the ground, and now it's basically just a piece of ground. Right? And it's sort of gone. And the last one you haven't seen yet, but it is there already. Yeah? Wait for it. Now you'll be shocked. This is true. There it is! You have, I mean, how great is that? I mean, you saw Lord of the Rings with Frodo and Escape. This is better, isn't it? So, and a couple of years ago, I found out about squid and octopuses, and these animals are terrific. I'm completely loving them. So they are basically the aliens on Earth. They are so very different from us, and they have been here for a very long time already. Now, another story about well, science fiction could be complete, of course, without Star Trek. I know about that, but lots of Star Trek aliens are basically people, human-like people with just a few embellishments, and it's all about cultures and stuff, and that's great. But the aliens are not that much prevalent in Star Trek as in Star Wars. But there's one in Star Trek Discovery, the series, and it's called the Tardigrade. You can see it here. This is, of course, a fake image. But it uses a fungus to navigate the mycelial network as a multidimensional creature. That's very useful, and this is all made up. But the fungus it uses, it's a symbiote with, is the Prototexidus stellaviatori. Well, stellaviatori means traveling through the stars. But Prototexidus actually existed a long while ago, and in that time when it existed, it was by far the largest organism that lived at that moment. It was basically the kind of trees. Look at the dimensions, 1 meter wide, 8 meters high. Those are trees, because the next organism in size were things like this, 6 centimeters. So these were the giants of their age, and this actually existed. So Star Trek used an existing fungus, and then they made up stuff. And they combined it with this tardigrade, but tardigrades exist. Not big ones, like 3 meter big ones, tardigrades like these that can navigate the mycelial network, but actual tardigrades. So this guy from the beginning is called a tardigrade or water bear, or there are different names for that. The word tardigrade basically means slow stepper. It has 8 legs, uses 6 to walk and the other 2 just grab things. It is basically one big head. It doesn't have a belly or something, it's one big head. I've seen a video where it poops about 3/4 of its, if 2/3 or something, of its body size. So that's a great video, you have to see that. I mean, amazing. And they've been around for a long time already, and they can survive basically anywhere. That's insane. They weren't adapted to that, but they can survive a lot. And this is a list, and I want to walk you through it because it's amazing. These creatures live everywhere. You just go to a pond somewhere, you'll find zillions of them. They've been found in the deep sea, 4.5 kilometers under the sea level. In the Himalayas, at 6 kilometers high. They've survived temperatures of basically 0 Kelvin in outer space, but also at 150 degrees centigrade, so also above boiling, no problem. They can survive that for a while. So they've lived in space at 0 atmosphere, vacuum, and then they bring them back and they just continue what they were doing. And also, in the deep sea, of course, there's a lot of pressure because of the water. Here we have 1 atmosphere, and you know that the deeper you go, the pressure increases because of the weight of the water, basically. At the bottom of the what is it, the Mariana Trench in Japan, it's about 12 kilometers deep. The pressure over there is 1,000 atmospheres, and they've tested these animals to 6,000 atmospheres, no problem. And you have no idea what 6,000 atmospheres is, but trust me, it's a lot. What we feel now, we don't notice that, but that's 1 atmosphere, right? So basically, if the air is 6,000 times as heavy, we'd be totally crushed. And this animal just goes, yeah, what? It also can survive lots of radiation. So this is the lethal dose, oh sorry, this is a Dutch word, for the humans. The lethal dose for humans, 750 times, no problem. They can repair their DNA. I haven't figured that out yet, but they can. And they don't mind it. So they can't get cancer, or they can basically repair their cancer. Also, if they collide with something, they can survive that. If I walk into a wall, basically that it's going to hurt. But if I walk into a wall with a speed of 900 meters per second, well, let's not try that. Just to tell you, that's more than 3,000 kilometers per hour. So, and this guy survives that, or girl, I don't know. Also, pressure, shocks pressure, so a sudden pressure of 1.14 gigapascal. No idea what that is. I calculated, of course. Trust me, if you have 1 square centimeter and you put the weight of 2 trucks on that, 2 trucks, about 12 cars, that's the pressure, no problem. So, and then also, it can survive without water for 10 years. No problem. And they have even sensed, they've seen a water bear. After 120 years without water, probably by accident, they still saw it move its legs, so probably was still alive. So, how? I don't know. But they can also see that the creature is normally consists of 85% of water. Well, we are not 85%, we're very close. And basically can lose the water to 3%, and then basically turns into glass. And then when you drop it into water, it swells up again, and it continues what it was doing. These creatures have been around for a while. I mean, if you're looking for aliens, this is pretty alien already, right? So these are tardigrades. Look them up, you'll be amazed. So, and they live everywhere. Now, there are more creatures that live in extreme circumstances. This isn't adapted to those, but there are creatures that especially live in those circumstances, like the deep sea vents. We have, at the bottom of the sea in the oceans, there are openings where the lava basically burns and all kinds of minerals rise, and it looks like this. And they're called black smokers. They are basically chimneys where this black, mineral-rich sort of smoke, watery smoke, comes out, and creatures live there. And it looks like this. You can already see them, but we're zooming in. No people have been here, but we can send down robots, basically, that make the video. There's no light here, so the light that you see is from the flashlights they use. But you see all kinds of creatures just happily living there. There's no sunlight there. The pressure is so high that the water temperature can easily be 400 degrees. Because of the pressure, it doesn't turn into a gas, it stays liquid. So creatures live there. They get their food, of course, not from plants. Plants don't live there because plants need sunshine. Yes, basically they get their food from the sulfur that comes up out of the ground. And they can live there. And there's even a theory that life on Earth has started over there. We don't know, but it's a theory, right? You can test that, you can check that. Basically, I don't know, 20, 30, 50 years ago, they didn't even know there was life at the bottom of the sea. Because it was so dark, we couldn't imagine. No, life happens all over the place. So even there, so you don't even need sunshine. You just need energy, right? And there's energy over there.